Hopefully it loads. Perfect. So welcome to Breakout Room 4. Here are the programs that we have in our room today. We have Vanderbilt, University of North Carolina, East Tennessee State University, University of South Alabama, Salah Foundation Children's Hospital, Broward Health Medical Center, and University of South Florida Morsani. So let's get started. We'll start with Vanderbilt.
Awesome. Kelly, how much time do we have for these? Just so I don't go too much over, do you know?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, awesome. Yeah. So hey everybody, my name is Whitney Brown and you just saw me talk a lot. My pronouns are she, her. I have Brooke Austin here with me, who is our program coordinator extraordinaire. And we just want to tell you about Monroe Carroll Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt in Nashville and our residency program. So a few highlights. We, as we just highlighted, a lot of Southeast region places have a very diverse patient population in terms of ethnicity, primary language, socioeconomic background, disease process, and acuity. If you want to see it, you can see it at Vanderbilt. One of the things that we have added in the last 5 years that I think has been one of the biggest things we've done to enhance our program is the development of our academic communities. There are 5 academic communities: medical education, quality improvement, advocacy and social medicine, global health, and physician scientist track/research. And we really think that these help to provide extra mentorship and promote quality scholarship in these areas. And they're kind of our version of tracks. We don't have tracks per se, but if you have an interest in one of these niches, then we can help you get some extra training in those areas. I mentioned mentorship through the academic communities, but I think generally our mentorship is really robust. We have a robust, or use that word twice, intern mentorship program. And then also a lot of faculty who love to mentor residents through scholarly projects. And we have really seen, I think Brooke can speak to this as well, the volume and the quality of scholarship that our residents have been able to do in the last few years has just kind of blown me away. We have a Spanish language primary care clinic. So some of our residents who speak Spanish or want who speak Spanish as their primary language in that clinic. And then we have a focus on advocacy and wellness with a resident-led wellness committee. And this is going to be tiny, so I'm not sure I can see all of this in here. I probably sent in too much stuff. But the curriculum is really well-rounded, we think, in the exposure that you get to general pediatrics and subspecialties. There's also great flexibility in the way our schedule is set up, and you can be really creative with your 6-block individualized curriculum. We have an 18-month rolling board prep lecture series for our noon conferences, and these include health equity, residents as teachers, QI, and global health conferences as well. And then engaging in interactive morning conferences are a resident favorite. I want to highlight, just for sake of time, some of the diversity initiatives that we have. We have a new health equity curriculum that we've been excited to roll out this year. It really focuses on equity through the health systems lens and how we can work within the system to provide equitable care to all our patients. We have an LGBTQ residency council. We have a Department of Pediatrics Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council that is working to provide extra mentorship for our URIM residents and faculty, a minority house staff academic and medical achievement group that is for the whole GME, and then a VUMC Health Equity Task Force that has been great and is rolling out some kind of best practices for us in the next little bit. So we're fairly, I think, medium to large program with 25 categorical residents plus 4 peds and neuro and combined genetics in addition to med peds. We have a balance of subspecialty training, thank you, Kelly, and private practice, as I mentioned, and I just listed some of the places where our fellows match. And really, I think we've had people match in all the subspecialties, and then go out to also practice general pediatrics really all over the country. We are also proud that some of our grads go on to do public health, and have a few people who have leadership positions in DC, which has kind of been fun to watch. And then they ask a little bit about location. I think I just spent a long time talking about the Southeast, so I'll spend a little bit of time on Nashville in general. Nashville is kind of a growing it city. Some people would say. I would love maybe if it would stop growing just a smidge. But there is a large refugee population. We have many colleges and universities, including some HBCUs. And if you're looking for live music, outdoor activities, beautiful lakes, professional sports, Nashville has it to offer. And so there's lots to do outside the hospital. And Brooke and I would be happy to answer any of your questions in the chat or later.
Yes. And Winnie, may I say one thing fast? If anyone sees my eyes going really close, it's because I'm old and I have to go really close. The little graphic mentions the intern class. We have, we match typically 24 a year.
Yeah, sorry, Brookster, yeah.
So I think we're at 70, we're at 24, 24, 25. So 73, we stay in that 73 to 75 range, depending on combined peds genetics. Sometimes we have an extra, but this coming match will match 24 categorical. And then as Dr. Browning said, we have 3 to 4 child neuro and then combined peds genetics. But I always kind of tell people 75, kind of just for a nice round number as far as 24, 25 per class.
Thanks, Brooke.
And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the chat for any of the programs. We will obviously get to the Q&A later, but just to let y'all know. Next, we have, University of North Carolina.
Hi, everyone. I am Meg Kilstrom. I'm the program director at UNC. You can see a picture here of Kenya McNeil-Trice, our vice chair of education and former program director. And then I'm joined tonight by one of our APDs, Christian Lawrence, and then our program coordinator, Kelly Lear, and one of our chief residents, Chris Atkins, is going to join soon as well. Thank you for having us tonight at such an exciting time as recruitment season starts. Exciting and nervous, I think, for most of us. So at UNC, we are a medium-sized program similar to Vanderbilt, a total of about 68 or so residents each year. We have categorical residents, primary care track, child neurology, physician scientist training program, and then some preliminary residents as well. And then we work closely with our combined med-peds program too. Just to highlight some of the things about our program and why we love it so much. So one of our strengths is the breadth of exposure. So in addition to training at UNC Children's Hospital, which is in Chapel Hill, our residents also rotate at 2 local community hospitals that are about 30 or 45 minutes away. Really offers a breadth of exposure in terms of less complex patients in a community setting, being able to see what it's like to work at an academic hospital, but also at a community setting, I think helps expose our residents to more diverse populations, different communities, and also more insight into career possibilities for them when they graduate as well. In those different environments, there's a diverse patient population and exposure as well. There's some refugee communities here in Chapel Hill and Greensboro, and there are pediatric subspecialties at UNC, and there's some represented at our other campuses as well. One thing to highlight similar to Vanderbilt as well is the individualized experience. You can be whatever you want to be. We really pride ourselves on preparing all our residents to be wonderful general pediatricians and to have the foundation for that, and then to build upon that however you want, whether that is to go on to fellowship, to be a subspecialist, to be a wonderful general pediatrician, a physician scientist, an educator, global health advocacy, whatever you want your future to be, we're here to help you find that and develop it. And because of this model, we have a wide range of future careers for our graduates as well. About half of our residents go on to fellowship, about half do primary care. As well. Some stay local. About 60% of our residents end up staying local, even though they come from all across the country. Chapel Hill is one of those places that once you visit, you never want to leave. They're very successful in their future and really prepared for autonomous practice when they leave. One of our core missions to the Department of Pediatrics is education, and that's something that we really focus on developing our residents as educators. During your 3 years as a resident, there's wonderful educators and mentors in our faculty on campus and also with the undergrad campus as well. There's exposure to our Academy of Educators, which is throughout all the School of Medicine, the opportunity to learn from individuals there as well as folks from across the country, whether that's didactics or teaching workshops and helping residents develop as educators. We have some focused curricular enhancement communities, one of which is focused on education as well. And then helping develop our residents as scholars as well, whether that's local or national scholarship, presenting the work they've done, research, case reports, et cetera, as well. And one thing that I think everyone can probably relate to this year has been our constant adaptability during the pandemic in terms of our educational models and having to pivot those frequently. And I think it has helped us actually find some really positive virtual options and other things that we've been able to use in our developing our residents as educators as well. And then just want to talk briefly about our culture of service. So we are the state hospital for the children of North Carolina. You think I'd be able to say that after I've been living here so long. We serve patients from all 100 counties in the state, even though we are local, our location is in the middle of the state. We have patients that do come from across the entire state with a really diverse subset of patients because of that. It's a large catchment area. There are no shortage of patients. Sometimes it comes up because there are many institutions in North Carolina. Is there a shortage of patients? And I think several folks, including Dr. Lawrence, who is on service right now, can attest that there's no shortage of patients in terms of the volume and the variety that we're exposed to. And I think one of the best things to highlight is our people. We're a family at UNC. There's camaraderie amongst the residents, amongst the faculty, amongst the staff. And I think it has been really inspiring to see that highlighted during the pandemic and in times of stress, how everyone has really come together and worked together as a family to support each other. Some of the diversity initiatives we have, you can see they are listed here. So there is a diversity committee within the Department of Pediatrics that several of our residents and program leadership are a part of. We have regular town halls for open forums for discussion with DEI related matters. We just this year started a new book club, which has been a lot of fun to work. There's residents, faculty, coordinators, we're all part of it, and are reading how to be an anti-racist and talking through that, working through the journal with it. Our residents get safe zone and implicit bias training as part of their regular curriculum during orientation, and then updates throughout the year. And then we've started having this works into wellness as well. So if there are any debriefing sessions, formal debriefing sessions with program leadership after national, international events to have a safe place to talk, but also within our different rotations and units to have debriefing sessions to talk about events that happen during those as well. I already spoke to some of the details in terms of who we are and where we come from. And then just to highlight quickly Chapel Hill and what a great place it is. So we're right in the middle of North Carolina. Here locally, there's so much to do. It is a college town, so there's that small town feel, but within a suburban and urban environment, being close to Raleigh and Durham, and all the culture and restaurants, activities, outdoor activities for sure. If you're interested in the outdoors, there's so many hiking and biking trails, lakes nearby. An hour and a half to the mountains and an hour and a half to the beach. So so many things you can do when you're not at work as well with your with the residency friends that you develop. Oh, that was perfect timing. We'll be Christian, I, and Kelly will be happy to talk to y'all later in the breakout rooms as well if there's questions.
All right, thank you, UNC. And next we have, man, these Google Slides. East Tennessee State.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Swift. I'm the program director at ETSU. That is Kim Miller, my coordinator. She's not with us tonight, but my two chief residents are here, Leslie and Nathan. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about our program and about Johnson City. So Johnson City is in the northeast corner of Tennessee. A lot of people don't know where it is. We are a small program, so much smaller than UNC and Vanderbilt. But growing. We have 7 residents per class for a total of 21 residents. This year we are getting another resident, so we're recruiting for 8, which is really exciting for us. And our department is growing and adding subspecialists. I feel like constantly we're always interviewing people. So some of our program highlights, we have a really strong emphasis on general pediatrics training and advocacy. We do live in a very rural area of the Appalachian Mountains, and so we serve a very unique population here. And learning how to deliver care to this patient population, I think, is pretty unique to ETSU. We do have lots of opportunities for clinical and population health research because we are affiliated with the university. So there's lots of interdisciplinary care and research and collaboratives that are kind of ongoing throughout the year that our residents are able to partake in. We echo what Dr. Browning said, the kind of local global aspect of caring for people in this region. We have a really strong global health elective. One of our hospitalists spent 12 years practicing global health in Cambodia and Rwanda and brought all of his skills back to Johnson City. And taking care of the patients here is really similar because people sometimes wait a little longer to seek care. And so it's a really unique patient population. But we do have opportunities for global health trips and electives. Hopefully trips will come back soon when we can travel. Something else unique about the ETSU program is that we're a St. Jude's clinic affiliate. So St. Jude, the big St. Jude's in Memphis, but our hem-onc doctors are affiliated with St. Jude. So if our patients are diagnosed with cancer, they are transferred to Memphis for their induction, but they can come home and get all of their oncology care at home. So they don't have to travel, which I think is really nice for our patients and their families. So our hospital is called Niswonger Children's Hospital. It's the only freestanding hospital in our area. We serve a very large catchment area. Our health system serves about 21 counties that include Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, a little sliver of Kentucky, and a tiny sliver of North Carolina. So we get patients from all over. The Tri-Cities area is Johnson City, Kingsport, and Bristol. And so those are kind of the cities we serve. And our population in the new census, we went up from 66,000 to 70,000 in Johnson City. So we're growing, the city's growing too. We have a 69-bed children's hospital. We are a level 1 trauma center that's staffed by pediatric emergency medicine trained physicians, and we have a level 3 NICU. Something else unique about our program is we do not have any fellowships, so our residents are kind of first up in taking care of patients and doing procedures and really the front line of taking care of these kids. Our curriculum has 2 tracks. We have general pediatrics and subspecialty, and we have lots of opportunities for electives and subspecialty exposure. Some of our diversity initiatives, we really train our resident recruitment committee to take a holistic approach to looking at applications, and we keep track of kind of all of that throughout the season. We do have lecture series on implicit bias and cultural competence, and we also have a book club. Our residents do ACEs training and screening in the clinic as well. I kind of talked about the people. About 30% of our residents enter fellowship, and they kind of match all over the country. So we've had residents match in hem-onc and POLM, NICU, kind of any specialty. We really prepare you to match into those subspecialties if that's what you're interested in. And then the other great thing about Johnson City and kind of the Northeast Appalachian area, it's in the mountains. It's a mountain college town, so there's lots of fun things to do. And if you enjoy outdoor stuff, really anything you can think that you want to do, you can do here. It's really in your backyard. The city is growing, like I was saying, so there's lots of new restaurants and breweries and things like that to do. So lots of fun things to do whenever you're not working. And then I guess just my favorite thing about our program is the people. I like being at a small program. The family feel is real. And I really feel like the residents and the faculty, we all get along really well and lean on each other, especially during the crazy time we've all been living in recently. So I hope that we can answer any questions you may have about our program. Again, much smaller than the first 2 that went, but I think everyone has something unique and special to offer. So.
Thank you. Next, we have University of South Alabama.
Hey y'all, my name is Aisha. I'm one of the pediatric chief residents at South Alabama. Well, thank you for having us. We're excited to have you all here with us. a little bit about our program. We're probably more of a medium-sized program. We have kind of the big ones and the smaller ones. We get about 12 residents per year, giving us about 36 in addition to 2 to 3 med peds. Our med peds are housed under pediatrics, so we work pretty closely with them as they kind of go back and forth between us. Some of our highlights, vacation wise, we do give you like 4 weeks of vacation in addition to get your 5 holidays. So you'll get just kind of roughly 5 weeks of holidays. We are unopposed in terms of fellows. So we are a standalone pediatric hospital. Our catchment area is pretty wide. We see people all the way from Mississippi, Southern Alabama, a little bit of Florida area as well. And we have no fellows. So as residents, you're the first line. You get to do all the procedures. You see them patient start to finish, which is pretty cool. It's a unique aspect from ours. Let's see what else we got. Sorry, we wrote a lot too. Scholarly activity. As residents, you are encouraged to do 1 scholarly activity per over your 3 years. Our residents do get to do a lot. The majority of our residents do present at least at regional meetings. They present at Southern Regional, which is our South national area. And then a lot of them will go on to present at like the National Hemont conferences, the National GR. We have NASPGHAN. We have a few residents presenting that coming up as well. So as far as scholarly activity, we do have the subspecialists to mentor y'all. If y'all are interested, we do probably have a good majority of subspecialties with the exception of, I think, genetics and maybe the more specialized surgeries. Size-wise, we're about a 69 patient bed. We are level 3 NICU, and PICU-wise, we're 21 bed PICU. Curriculum, something unique about us is we have an X+Y scheduling, and I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but it basically allows for 3 weeks of a rotation plus every 4th week you have a continuity clinic week. The nice thing about this is this really allows you to tailor your curriculum to what you want to do just off the get-go. Your continuity week has half days built into it to start exploring subspecialties. So all interns will have like a half day where it's called a community half day where you can go out, rotate with cardiology, rotate with GI. Some of our residents who wanted to do ED, they do an extra half day in ED. They do chronic care. So it gives you that flexibility right off the get-go to start exploring different subspecialties. As you kind of get older, further along in your curriculum, the X+Y allows for flexibility to mix and match different rotations and really tailor your curriculum to what you want it to be. So we like that. Night float, there's no rotating night float. So you're either the night resident or you're the day resident. So you don't have to worry about every other day night call. And PGY ones don't take call their first year at all. We do have a standalone pediatric residency clinic, which is very nice because as residents, you all get to build, you get to input, something's not working, you want to change it. We're very receptive to feedback. Our program director actually has quarterly town halls with each of the class to just help to touch base, find out what's working, what's not working, and implement change relatively quickly. Diversity initiatives, we do have a diversity coalition, which is a combination of residents and faculty. Pre-COVID, we tried to do quarterly events where we had diversity dinners. We would meet up at like the program director's home and just have like discussions about inclusivity. We've tried to been including that into our conferences and whatnot. Let's see, what else did I miss? Location-wise, we are pretty close to the beach. Our coast to beach about 35. We're an hour away from the Gulf. And probably an hour away from camping and hiking and whatnot. We have local festivals. Probably every month you can go out and find a different festival. We have Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is probably a 3-month celebration here, which is pretty cool. I think that's all I have for y'all. If you have any questions, again, I'll be free to stick around. Feel free to email me. And we look forward to hearing from y'all.
Thank you very much, South Alabama. Next, we have Salah Foundation Children's Hospital, Broward Health Medical Center.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christy Rivers. I am the program director at Salah Foundation Children's Hospital at Broward Health in Fort Lauderdale. Susanna Krawczyk is here with me also. She is one of our GME managers. A couple special things about our program. We're a pretty small program. We only have 8 residents a year, so we're 24 in total. However, we do see a large volume of patients and very diverse pathology living down in South Florida. And I think that our small size is a definite benefit to our residents. We have no fellows. And so as a couple other programs have stated, basically our residents get first dibs at procedures and all of the complex patients. Also, our small size allows us to get to know each other really well on a personal level. I think one of the strengths of our program is that we have a great resident attending relationships. The residents work really well together. In the time of COVID, they have really just had each other's backs. We had in South Florida, all over Florida, we've had a very challenging couple of months with the COVID spike, and they've really just kind of come together and helped each other out. About half of our residents go on to do fellowships, and our small size does not keep them down. So we have been pretty much in almost every specialty, and they've been to places such as Harvard, Yale, Emory, Georgetown, very prestigious settings for fellowships. We are affiliated with 3 medical schools. We work with Nova Southeastern University, as well as Florida International University and the University of Miami. So they get a lot of teaching experience as well. We are a safety net hospital, so we care for everyone, no matter their ability to pay. And that allows us to have a very diverse patient population. We have a level 1 trauma center, level 3 NICU. Unfortunately, we have had to deal with some mass casualties in the past few years. Our residents have taken care of some of the Parkland shooting victims, as well as our ER did take in some shooting victims of the Fort Lauderdale Airport shooting as well. Which is, not good, but it shows that we really can have a wide breadth of different things that they see. We do have a strong focus on advocacy. So we think it's really important to get residents out into the community so that they can better understand their patients. We have created a month-long advocacy rotation where the residents go out into the local schools. They are going to be working with the Seminole Indian tribe. They go out to skilled nursing facilities, just a variety of settings that we send them out so they can get to know kind of where their patients are coming from. We also have a strong focus on diversity. So we have multiple opportunities. Our house staff officer, one of our PEDS chief residents, is the president of our diversity group. And we have instituted a new program from Desk to Docs, which is a mentorship program for local high school students where our residents will mentor them if they're interested in pursuing STEM careers. We also are going to be starting a day in the life where during morning report, we have some time to focus once a month on our own diversity within our residency program, where the residents will spend about 10 minutes just talking about themselves and their own culture and their own backgrounds. We focus heavily on scholarly activity as well. Each resident does both the QI and research projects every year. And often our residents, their posters are selected. They have presented nationally at multiple meetings, including the AAP National Convention, also NASPGAN, and others. I can't miss out on talking about the location. So that's definitely one of our strengths, Fort Lauderdale. We are about 5 minutes from the beach. And basically everything you could want to do in South Florida, we have. So whether it be restaurants, museums, sporting events, the theater, Miami's only 30 minutes away. So you are never at a loss for things to do. Also, that location does afford us a lot of pathology. We are about 5 minutes from the international airport, about 5 minutes from the cruise ship ports. So we see a lot of different pathology from the islands. Our patients a lot of times are flown in from the Bahamas and the Caribbean islands. Our residents do see a lot of tropical medicine as well because of that. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have in the breakout sessions.
Thank you. And I believe last but not least, we have University of South Florida Morsani.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Sharon DeBrow. I'm the PEDS Program Director here at USF, and also on the call is Kelly Paulina, who's our coordinator, and Brittany Compton, who is our chief. So it's tough to go last after such amazingly good programs, as well as just the time, but I'll try to go quickly so we finish on time. USF really does offer a family environment, and I know you guys have heard that before, but it really is a family, and that's how we operate our group. We are located in Tampa, so our College of Medicine is in Tampa at the Morsani College of Medicine, and we have some clinics in Tampa, but we also are located in St. Petersburg at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. So you really get the best of two cities, both Tampa and St. Pete, as well as the entire Tampa Bay region. There's some data there about the two hospitals. Tampa General is a huge city hospital, over 1,000 beds. Large NICU, large PEDS floor, and then Hopkins is a freestanding all children's hospital. So you really do get the best of both worlds, a children's hospital and a city hospital. The population is primarily poor children, anywhere between 60 and 100% Medicaid, depending upon the clinic or the hospital. In outpatient, it is almost all poor children that we serve. We have a longitudinal community clinic, which is a unique aspect of our program. So as a second and third year, you get to either work in a subspecialty clinic, primary care clinic, community health center, and you get to choose pretty much where you want to go for either both years or 1 year, and then switch to for your third year. And that allows you to experience that field in a real world setting. And it's really a highlight of our second and third years for our residents. We have a great wellness program. We have a Harry Potter theme, which you get sorted into a Harry Potter house when you come in as an intern. You stay in that house for your 3 years, and you do different activities and get wellness points during that time. Specifics in the curriculum, we have an academic half day on Thursday mornings. We've had that for the past 4 years, and that's great. It's protected time where you have lectures or other education events during that half day. We have the traditional morning report and noon conference. We have a cost-effective care conference once a month, which has been really very positive. We are right now doing it by Zoom, but somewhat of a hybrid mode as well. We have dedicated board review. Actually, tonight is, I think, either tonight or tomorrow night is the monthly board review held at a restaurant, and then we do board review as part of academic half day. We are fortunate that the university has an MPH school. So if you're interested in that, you can get an MPH certificate, and some even get an MPH during their residency. Lots of QI opportunities, lots of research opportunities at both hospitals, as well as with, the over 100 faculty that we have. The slide is already out of date because the last line under curriculum says AAP Brain Bowl champs twice. So we just won the Brain Bowl championship in the state of Florida, which is a residency Jeopardy-like championship. And we had it 2 weeks ago at the Florida meeting, and USF was fortunate enough to win for a third time. So that's pretty exciting. We have 12 residents a year. We also have 5 MedPeds residents. So any of you that are interested in MedPeds, you can also contact me, and I'll put you in touch with the MedPeds folks. We have MDs, we have DOs, and we have IMGs. We have folks from Puerto Rico, folks from California. We've had folks from Canada. So really all over the place. And about half pursue fellowships. Last year, some of our fellows location, we are in West Central Florida, like I said, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that we are home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champs, and the Stanley Cup champs, the Lightning, this past year. So not many cities can say they had 2 championships in the past year, and I was fortunate enough to attend both of those championships. So it's a pretty amazing year. Our diversity is really pretty wide. We have Caucasians, we have whites, we have Hispanics, and we have families from all over the world in addition to that. We are about 30% Hispanic and 20% Black on average in our community. Awesome beaches, awesome theme parks, museums, restaurants, anything you'd want to do. As far as specifics in diversity, we offer lectures, workshops, and trainings throughout the year. We're working on creating a new diversity committee, revamping what we've had a little bit. We've offered implicit bias for our faculty and our residents annually. And this is the first year we've offered a scholarship for an underrepresented minorities fourth-year student, and that student will be coming next month. So I think I finished with enough time.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, so now we'll do our Q&A real quick. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we will ask them. So first question, how does the diversity of your residency class represent that of the population served by the hospital? It might have cut out. Or how is the program working to create this type of diversity?
I can take that one for UNC for sure. So the population in North Carolina, if you've never been to North Carolina, is highly diverse. And in our area in particular, as Dr. Killstrom mentioned, we have a ton of diversity in terms of the people in the area. We have refugee families who come to our area and settle. And we have probably about 20 to 30% of the population in North Carolina is African-American, a large growing population, a large growing Hispanic population. I think it's like 15 to 20% now. So a lot of diversity in that regard. And I think we do a really good job in having our residents reflect what our state looks like. That's really one of our big goals. That's really one of our big missions. As the hospital that serves the state of North Carolina, we really want to look like the people that we serve. So that's something we've taken very seriously, and we're very proud of that. So.
If I can add something, I'm Brooke Austin, the coordinator at Vanderbilt. I just want to mention that I just sent a private message to Christian Lawrence, who just spoke, because Christian interviewed with us and we loved him. He ended up matching at UNC, but he came to one of our second look weekends for diversity, which used to be in person. So we have we've done that since 2009, and that's one of the things now. This coming year is going to be a virtual, but our diversity office now does, every applicant will have a specific, every URM applicant will have a specific diversity meeting virtually. It used to be in person. Hopefully, eventually it'll be in person, paid for by the diversity office, airfare and everything. Because the key is, like Christian could tell you, you've got to really dig into the websites and meet the people as much as we can in this virtual thing. And also by seeing Christian, you guys will all see each other again. So stay nice, be nice to everyone.
Okay, so I have a question. How did everyone's year go last year with virtual interviews, and what advice do you have for this year's applicants regarding virtual?
I'm happy to take first stab at that. I'm sure everybody has their own experience. I think Brooke would agree with me. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. So first of all the student applicants, take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. It is kind of like this. We get to have a conversation. We're just talking through a screen, but you still get to feel the warmth of people. And you can really see, I almost think you can see the interaction with faculty and residents even a little bit better, depending on how it's set up. That was true for ours. I think the biggest thing you miss out on is just being able to like see the residents in their space, and really get to kind of know them that way. But I think that overall, I was pleased with how virtual interviews went, and I just want you guys to be reassured that it's gonna be okay.
All right, thank you. And kind of piggybacking off of that, what are some examples of do nots for virtual interviews?
I think one thing is being, this is Christian Lawrence from UNC again. I agree with Dr. Browning in the chat, don't be late. Specifically for the virtual space, I would say pay attention to your backgrounds, pay attention to who may be around you when you're interviewing, and just be mindful of those aspects. And also being aware of your video quality, your audio quality, things like that that could really affect your experience.
One thing that kind of drove me crazy, because I spent hours, every day, I didn't really, I know I would kind of say, hey, turn off your cameras, please take a break. I'm turning off my camera. I would kind of announce, but sometimes applicants would turn off their cameras when I was kind of still talking, or a faculty member was still talking. And maybe they weren't off the whole time. I don't